Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allison. Today I'm going to be showing you my container garden, which I just started a couple months ago during quarantine. I've always wanted to have my own garden and now is the perfect time. I live in an apartment and we have a terrace, so that means that I have a bunch of different plants in different pots, which is why it's called a container garden, because you grow your plants in containers. So not every plant can thrive in a container. I had to figure out of all the different plants that I wanted, what would actually work for me. So I spent a lot of time doing that, and I learned so much about gardening that I had never known because I'd never done it before. So I wanted to share some of the things that I've learned from all the research I've done and help you figure out what will work for you. I think that container gardens are really great for someone who's starting out, and it makes it really accessible even if you just have a small space. A lot of plants can also grow indoors, so if it's cold where you are when you're watching this, you can even take some of these tips and still use them during the winter. My garden is doing so well, and every day when I go outside to look at it, it just makes me so happy, and I feel like each day they get bigger and bigger and we have new flowers and different things to look at. I live in New York, so obviously we have cold winters here, so in the future I can make another video about how we're going to prepare our garden for winter, because you can salvage some of the things that you bought during the summer and they'll regrow next summer. If you guys would like to see that video, then comment down below. So if you want to get a peek inside of my garden and learn about all the things that I use to help me, then keep watching the video and let's do it. So this is our main garden over here. It's a little disorganized right now because it's been raining, so we haven't been able to get out here and put things where we want to. But I'll start over here with our curly leaf kale, which has just taken off from all the rain. It started out so small with maybe only 4 tiny leaves, and now it is just huge, and there's so much growth on there, so many new baby leaves on the inside. I'm so excited about that. I paired marigolds with this kale because marigolds are supposed to deter insects, so that's why they're there. But I think I'm going to have to move them because the kale is growing so big and it's going to take over this whole pot. Over here we have our planter box, and this was for the herbs that we're growing. Here we have chives, and we had a cute little flower there. Oh my gosh, it's growing so big. Here is our sage, which is also doing so well. We had a problem with the sage. We had aphids. It was so gross. I really hate bugs. And they were crawling underneath all of the leaves. It was so nasty. But we just used a natural homemade pesticide, which was just some dish soap and water in a spray bottle. And I came out here and sprayed them every day with that. And it got rid of most of the aphids. And we cut off the leaves that were infected with them. So now it's doing really well. And we have a couple more marigolds over here. In this empty spot was where the lavender was, but now that's moved to a different pot. Here we have basil, which is looking a little better. It was pretty small for a while, and basil is my favorite, so I really want it to get nice and big. So hopefully it'll keep growing. And then over here we have rosemary, which is doing really nicely. Then here we have our spinach, which was originally doing so poorly, but now you can see that it's huge. We had one over there and one over there, but unfortunately those died off. But these two are doing so well. Again, I think I'm gonna have to move the marigolds because they're taking up too much of the pot. And this one back here has really pulled through, so I'm really happy that he's doing okay. And hopefully he'll grow as big as these two soon. We have a really nice pot. This just has flowers in it. So the two in front are dahlias, and we have some really nice blooms from there. And you could see all of these tiny ones are going to open soon. This one is a little bit of a darker pink, and these bloom so frequently. We always have a gorgeous flower open, and we can always see that a couple are opening right behind it. Oh, there's one like trapped in there. I'll need to give him some sunlight. These flowers have been open for a while, and I would say they open really large for about 5 to 7 days, and then they shrivel up like that, and you can just pull them off the plant so that the plant uses energy to create new flowers instead of trying to feed this flower. There we go. And then back there is a plant that I'd never heard of before. It's called Angelonia, and I saw it at the nursery and I thought it was so interesting looking, so I wanted to pair it together with these dahlias. It's a little windy, and these have been opening so nicely. So that looks really beautiful. And then in this pot over here is our lavender, who had to get a bit of a haircut because they were all turning brown. I think it was being overwatered, and it's rained so much that I think it's being overwatered now. So lavender is a plant that comes from the Mediterranean, so the soil needs to mimic that of the Mediterranean. It should be a little sandy, but the most important thing is that it has a lot of drainage. So there are a lot of rocks at the bottom of this pot so that the lavender can drain properly. And I normally don't water this one. I just wait for the rain so that it can get its water, and I don't have to do anything because it doesn't need that much water. So I'm going to be transferring this lavender into this new pot that we got, and I have some rocks over here that we collected to put at the bottom for drainage, and then I'm going to mix in vegetable and herb garden soil mixed with compost. And I'm going to put some flower food in there also so that they will do really well. Over here we have my mom's begonias that she planted. The leaves aren't doing so well, but the flowers are doing really nicely and they look really beautiful. And they make her happy, so it makes me happy. Here we have our tomato plant, which is looking really nice. So we have these tomatoes growing, which is so exciting. They're so beautiful. I can't wait until they turn red. We get to pick them off and we're ready to eat them. I hope they're not too crowded in there. If anyone has some advice for that, or if they think it's okay, please let me know, because I've never grown tomatoes before, so I'm not sure if they have enough room, but I hope they do. They've been doing pretty well for now. So tomato plants are really interesting because they grow these little yellow flowers, and then once the flower falls off, the tomatoes will come from there. Here you can see the yellow flowers a little better, but once that yellow flower falls off, that's where our tomato will grow. And we've seen so much growth on this. There's some over there, we're getting some more there, we have some down there, and one there too. So tomatoes will grow from all of those, so it's gonna be so exciting. Then over here we have potatoes, which are just growing so crazy. They look so nice. It's such a nice plant. My sister just had organic potatoes from the supermarket, and we let them sit for a while and they grew spores. Once the spores grow on the potatoes, you can cut it off and let it dry out a little bit, and then you plant them with the spores facing up, and the plant will grow little by little. And once it grows, you cover it with soil. Once it grows a couple more inches, you cover it with a little more soil until it grows up and out of the bag. I made the mistake of, I think, covering it with too much soil, so some of them are smaller than others. That one is doing really well, and these ones over here are a bit smaller, but I had to dig them up, and once I did that, they were a lot happier. And we kind of lost one in there, which is why this side of the bag is a bit empty. But I'm really happy that these are doing well, and in a couple months we will have potatoes. And these bags are really cool because they have a Velcro pocket on the side. So once your vegetable, whatever it is ready for harvest, you can stick your hand into the side of the bag and pull those out. So this is our trellis over here. We have this huge wall that's part of the apartment complex, so we're not allowed to nail anything into it or hang anything off of it or have vines grow up it. So we got this trellis, and we're super excited about the way it looks because it just distracts from the ugly wall a little bit. And inside the trellis we planted hydrangeas, which are my favorite flower. At first they looked really nice. Now they're doing okay. I'm excited to see new flowers on these because we didn't have a lot of new growth before. These used to be completely blue. Hydrangeas change color based on the acidity of the soil, so I think that these are turning to pink, which is why they're a combination of blue and pink right now. This plant is called a clematis, and it's a climbing vine, as you can see, and it has been growing so much. It grows so fast. These are growing outwards so fast, and we're also getting flowers. These buds are new, so I'm very excited about that because it's shady over here, so I wasn't sure if they would grow flowers, but here they are. I can't wait for them to open. Back here, these are kind of a mess, but we planted some daffodil bulbs, but they won't bloom until next spring, so we're waiting for these to die off, and then once they turn brown you can cut them off, and then the bulbs will stay in the ground, and as long as they're warm throughout the winter, then we will get new daffodils next spring. A good tip is to put your watering cans outside when it's raining, because we collected the rainwater and this stuff is so good for your plants. And it just rained a little, so I don't have that much, but the next time I need to water my plants, I'll have these ready to go and it'll be very happy. I just want to say that I'm definitely not an expert on this because, like I said, I only started a couple months ago. So if anyone has any tips that they want to tell me, they can leave it in the comments below, and I'm sure it'll be really helpful for anyone else who's watching this. So go check out the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed the tour of my garden, and I hope that it encouraged you to start your own garden, or I was able to help you out with any issues that you're having with your plants. Please make sure to subscribe and throw me a like if you enjoyed this video because it really helps support my channel. I'll be back next week with another video, and I hope to see you guys there. Bye!